Nneka was a kind and hardworking woman. She was married to a man named Dike. Dike was a very rich man. He had a lot of money and they lived in a big mansion with their two children. From the outsider, people thought they had a perfect life. But inside that big mansion, things were not as beautiful as they looked. Even though Dike had so much money, he did not care about Nneka or the children. He did not provide for them, and he never asked if they were okay. He only cared about himself, his business, his clothes, his cars, and his friends. Nneka was the one who did everything for the family. She woke up early every day to take care of the children, cook, clean, and find ways to make money. Dike never gave her any money, so she had to struggle to feed herself and her children. To survive, Nneka started selling food by the roadside. She would fry akara, cook rice and stew, and sell them in the markets. Some days, she also sold fruits, vegetables, or whatever she could find. She worked under the hot sun and in the rain just to make sure her children did not go to bed hungry. Even though she was tired and sometimes sad, she never gave up. Her children were her strength. She made sure they went to school and had clothes to wear, even when she had to go hungry. Dike saw her suffering but did nothing to help. He acted like they did not exist. Still, Nneka remained strong. Dike started bringing another woman into the house. At first, it was once in a while, but later it became a regular thing. The woman would come and stay for hours, sometimes even sleep over. Nneka saw everything and her heart was heavy. She tried to talk to Dike about it, but each time she opened her mouth to say something, he would end up beating her and calling her all sorts of names. "Look at you," he would shout. "I am just managing you. If you say that nonsense again, I will send you back to that poor wretched home." Nneka would be left in tears, her body in pain and her heart completely broken. She could not understand how the man she married had turned into this stranger. Each time she tried to speak up, it only brought more pain. The beatings became worse, and the insults never stopped. He called her names like useless woman, dirty thing, and good for nothing. He made her feel small and unwanted, but Nneka stayed silent, not because she was weak, but because of her children. Only her two children gave her comfort. After each fight, they would sit close to her, wiping her tears and hugging her. "Mommy, don't cry." Her little son would say, "We love you." In those quiet, painful nights, it was only their love that kept her going. Nneka's friend Ezine came to visit one afternoon after hearing what had happened. She looked at Nneka's swollen face and bruised arms and shook her head in pain. "Nneka, how long will you continue like this?" Ezine said, "This is not marriage. This is suffering. You need to leave before that bastard of a husband kills you one day." Nneka looked down, her eyes is filled with tears. She wiped her face and said, "Ezine, leaving is not the best option for me. I came from a very poor home. My mother is still struggling to take care of my younger ones. There is no way I can go and become another burden again. Where will I even start from?" Ezine held her friend's hand and sighed deeply. So you want to stay here and die little by little? What about your children? Don't you want to be alive for them?" "I do," Nneka replied quietly. "But going home is just too shameful. People will laugh at me. They will say I couldn't keep my marriage. And honestly, I don't even know where else to go." Ezine didn't know what else to say. She just hugged Nneka tightly, wishing she could take all the pain away. Nneka kept struggling for her children. Even though life was very hard, she never gave up. She did small jobs here and there, washing clothes for people, selling vegetables in the markets, and doing anything she could find just to feed her children. She made sure they never went to bed hungry, even if it meant she had to stay hungry. Gradually, the children began to grow up. They grew up only with their mother's love, care, and support. Nneka was everything to them: their mother, their father, their provider, and their comforter. She would help them with their homework at night, tell them stories, and always remind them to be strong and never give up, no matter what life brought their way. Meanwhile, Dike continued with his womanizing lifestyle. He was always with different women, going out, drinking, and coming back home late. He never cared about his children. He never asked how they were doing in school, never bought them clothes or even food. It was as if they didn't exist to him. Even when the children tried to greet him, he would wave them off or ignore them completely. The love and care they needed from their father was never there. It was only Nneka who stood by them, through thick and thin. Though her heart was still full of pain, she found her strength in her children. They became her reason to keep moving, her reason to smile, and the only light in her dark world. 30 years later, Nneka's children, Maxwell and Jane, grew up into fine adults. Life was not easy, but with hard work, prayer, and the strong training from their mother, they both became successful. Maxwell is now a well-known businessman. He owns many shops in the city and even travels abroad for business. He is honest, hardworking, and he never forgets where he came from. Jane also did very well for herself. She works in a big bank as an accountant. She is smart, neat, and very good with numbers. Nneka is now an old woman, but her heart is full of joy. She smiles every day knowing that her children made it in life. All her years of suffering were not in vain. Her dream has come true. Maxwell built a beautiful house for her, and Jane makes sure she has everything she needs. Nneka now live in peace and happiness, surrounded by love. But Dike's life took a different turn. He now lives in the village. He grew old too, but unlike Nneka, he has no one to care for him. He never trained any child or built any future. Now he is lonely and weak. He cannot hustle like before, and sometimes he goes hungry. People in the village pity him, but they also remember how he treated Nneka many years ago. While Nneka sits in her fine house, laughing with her children, Dike sits under a tree, thinking about his past, full of regrets and loneliness. Not long after, Dike fell seriously sick. He was all alone in the house. There was no one to help him, no one to give him food or medicine. He felt weak and lonely. With a shaking hand, Dike picked up his phone and called his wife. Her voice was cold when she answered. "I am sick," Dike said, his voice low. "I need someone to help me." She replied, "When the children and I needed you, where were you, Dike? Now you need help and you remember us." Before he could say much, she ended the call. Dike then tried calling his children one by one. They all said the same thing. "Dad, when we were small, we needed you. We cried for your attention, for your love, but you were too busy. Now you want our time. We don't have it." Dike began to cry. He begged them, "Please, my children, I know I failed you, but I am sorry. I need you now. Please forgive me." But their voices were firm and full of pain. "Don't call us again," they said. "We have moved on, just like we moved on back then without us." The line went dead. Dike sat in silence with tears running down his face. The house felt colder than ever. Dike lay alone on his sick bed. Day after day, his body was weak, and the pain never seemed to go away. He had no money to buy medicine or even good food to eat. The little help he used to get had stopped coming. Life became harder every day. His family, they were all busy. His brothers and sisters had their own children and problems. They barely called, and no one came to visit. Even when he was too sick to get up, no one was there to ask, "Dike, how are you feeling today?" Sometimes he would cry quietly in his bed. He didn't want the neighbors to hear, so he held the tears in until it hurt. He was tired not just in his body, but in his heart. He had no wife, no children, no one to sit beside him, hold his hand, or say a kind word. The house felt empty, and the silence made everything worse. At night, he often stared at the ceiling, thinking about his life. Is this how it ends? He would ask himself. No joy, no laughter, no one to remember him, only pain and loneliness. But even in that dark time, he still hoped, just a little, that one day someone might come, someone might care. Dike waited and waited for help, but no one came. Every morning, he hoped someone would knock on the door. Every night, he listened for footsteps, but the days passed and still no one came to check on him. His condition became worse. The pain in his body grew stronger. He could hardly move, and his voice became weak. He had no strength to even sit up. The hunger, the sickness, and the loneliness all joined together to break him down. One afternoon, the pain became too much. It felt like fire rolling through his body. He couldn't hold it anymore. With the last bit of strength he had, Dike screamed out in pain. "Ah, this pain is too much," he cried. Then, with tears in his eyes, he shouted, "Please, if you are a married man out there, take good, proper care of your wife and children. Give them your time, attention, love, and care. They will be your savior in your old age. Don't push them away like I did. Don't end up like me." After saying those words, Dike took a deep breath, looked up at the ceiling one last time, and slowly closed his eyes. The room was silent. Dike had died, alone with no one by his side. His story, though painful, left a message behind, a warning and a lesson for others to learn.